Look, if your landing pages aren't converting at 40 to 60%, then they're probably missing one of these key conversion elements. So let's boost those conversion rates. Timestamps below, along with some other helpful links and resources, including a link to our own landing page playbook and template bundle that allows you to get up and converting fast. Well, now when it comes to creating your landing page, the hard part is done at this point, right? The page is up, hopefully it's published, and now we have to look at it and go, okay, well, how do we fix it? How do we improve it? How do we make it better? Well, the first step is to do nothing. And I mean, absolutely nothing until you have at least 250 people who've hit the page. Because after all, it is really easy to just go to your landing page software and hit refresh over and over again and wait for the leads or people to visit. And you're like 5 leads, 5 people show up, nobody opts in. You're like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Until you have 250 people, at least, we aren't going to have something called statistical significance to actually make a good decision as to whether or not we need to change or improve anything. So once we have those 250 people, once that minimum criteria has been met, then we can start going through different conversion elements on our page to figure out what we can improve. And of course, the biggest, most important factor of all is going to be how we're grabbing attention with our headline. And of course, we want to make sure that our headline is clearly communicating what's in it for whoever's showing up to our page and whatever the offer is going to do for them. So even if you've gone through this exercise or similar exercise already, sometimes when you come back, even just a couple weeks later, you go, oh, you know what? That's actually not results that people care about that I talked about in the headline, or that's not really a struggle that they're struggling with. So of course, nobody cares that my lead magnet helps them break this particular roadblock or whatever it may be. And so again, link in the description to our landing page playbook that actually goes through this checklist. And of course, has some copywriting formulas to help you come up with other ideas. But whether you have really good conversion rates or really terrible conversion rates, the first thing you're going to want to test is your headline, because that's going to make the biggest impact on whether or not your page is successful and improves. And of course, we have 10 seconds. 40% of people in the first 10 seconds are probably going to leave the page. Some even leave before if it loads too slow, which we'll get to. But just remember, when it comes to optimizing, the headline is always going to be 80-20. It's always going to have the biggest impact on your results. Now, when it comes to the second part of your landing page, which is the build interest section, so this is going to be where you have some bullet points and you have a picture or pictures of whatever your lead magnet is, you need to ask the question, is this congruent with where they came from, right? So for example, if we're running Facebook ads and it's talking about how to create salad recipes, or it's for salad recipes, and then the landing page is all about chocolate cake, well, not only is that incredibly mean, people aren't going to be too happy, right? Because they're trying to be healthy and now you're trying to, give them chocolate cake. Now, obviously, if the ad was about keto chocolate cake or vegan chocolate cake or whatever type of chocolate cake you want to make, that doesn't involve dairy or gluten or whatever else people are scared of these days, then yeah, it would make sense to have a landing page all about chocolate cake, right? So we should probably stop talking about dessert because I'm starting to get a little hungry here, but you get the point. We need to make sure that whatever it is we talked about or promised in our content or in our ads is the exact same thing that we talk about in our bullet points. In fact, if you have an image in your ad or on your landing page or on your blog post or in your video, it should be the same thing on your landing page. And sometimes when you write bullet points, it should feel like you're saying the same thing that the ad or your content said, and that's means you're on the right track. We're not trying to do anything new here. We want congruency throughout this entire process. Now, another way you can actually boost your conversion rates, especially if you've gotten 250 visits, you've probably had at least a couple people opt in. And so what you can do is you can reach out to them and use those as testimonials to get more people to sign up, right? So even if you have 5 people, let's say 5 out of 250 for some reason opted in, you're like, this is the worst landing page ever. Well, all you have to do is email those 5 people individually. I know it takes time, but email them individually and say, hey, did you get value out of this? And if you get some positive feedback, 2 people reply, right? Let's say you get 2. Well, that's going to help you with building or creating desire on your landing page because now you have proof that it has worked. And so anything we can do to make your page look more trustworthy and show that other people have already achieved the results or broken roadblocks that your offer is talking about, the higher your conversion rates are going to be. as an example, for one of our pages, I just went through YouTube comments and I found all of the positive comments I could on the subject of Google Ads. And so what we did is we took all the information that was in the video and we put it in a lead magnet, and then we included the video, and then we had testimonials of that video and that lead magnet. And so sometimes you can just go look around social for nice things people have said. And obviously there's not nice things out there too, but we can cherry pick what is going to help us help more people, and by joining our email list and of course downloading our lead magnet. Probably rambling a little too much there. So let's go ahead, move on to On From Desire and talk about your call to action. Now here it's really simple. Are you asking for more than the email? Like really, look at your page. If you're asking for more than an email, then your landing page conversion rate is lower than it should be. Plain and simple. So all we need is an email. I know there's all that other information you might want later, especially if you're doing any sort of sales calls. But for now, we just need that email address, friendly reminder. And with the button, if you want to get fancy, you can say, instead of download, you could say, yes, I want the template, or I want the blueprint, or yes, I want to lose weight faster, run faster, go climb further, whatever the big result is. And so you can customize that button text a little bit. But in terms of 80-20, in terms of what's going to really move the needle, your button text and color isn't something that you should be obsessing over testing. Definitely the first part, which is grabbing attention with the headline, is where we want to focus. Now, this next one you can actually do before 250. This is the only one you're allowed to do before 250, and that is compress your images. So irrespective of what page builder you decided to use, you can go over to Google Page Speed Tools or Web Developer Tools. I always forget the name. Link here. There it is. And you can see how fast your page is. Now, for the most part, most of the stuff you're looking at is going to be jargon. You have no idea what it means, and you have no control over it anyway. But what you can look at is your images, right? Because sometimes you make an image in Canva or something else and you kind of squeeze it down in your landing page builder, but it's like 5 times the size it needs to be. And so using a free image compressing tool can also help with your page load speed, because images can be big bad culprits in terms of your landing page loading too slow. Because if it takes more than 3 seconds, you're missing out on tons of conversions because people are not waiting. Everyone has a short attention span. Feels like every year we say, I have a shorter attention span. And then the next year, it's a shorter attention span, right? It just keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So the final one here is going to be offer rotation. Because once you get your landing page, let's say 40 to 50 or even 60%, well, you can keep testing that headline, but you're probably towards the tippy top of diminishing returns in terms of being able to get more leads out of that particular landing page and lead magnet combo. So just go make another one, right? Go test another one. That's something that we've done a lot on this channel. And we have lots of lead magnets that started out really great a couple years ago, and now nobody seems to care. So it's also something to think about, not get zeroed in and focused on, or just have one landing page. As an example, on our channel, over the course of a week, we might have 3 or 4 different landing pages, depending upon the videos that we are posting. And so creating lots of these to just kind of see what works is a really good recipe for finding those 1 or 2 that are really going to convert like crazy. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. Most importantly, you have some ideas of how you can go ahead and improve your current landing pages. And of course, with the asterisk, wait for 250 people to see the page before you start making those adjustments, and always make notes of what your adjustments were. So if you come back in a month and you find your conversion rates are worse, you at least know what not to do in the future. So check out that link to our landing page playbook and template bundle in the description to help you with all of this and creating your new landing pages. And hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing guides just like this one. And until the next, keep building the business you love.